That looks like pretty light today. You coming with riders again? No, it's not. Oh, this way driving. So they don't rain. I have coffee and then I remember flags. It's not raining.
Well, you know, Joan says, only that man, you know, there's no day of bad possible where it's going to be a parking lot. She's not getting
Guys, take it off.
Yeah.
You might stay long.
Yeah, that trip name Calinas.
Nice. Sure. Actually, I was going to so this is the way I do these. I just write it out.
Yeah.
You're fine. Bobby's always Shake's always
Good thing.
always be good to play. It's been a little extra normal and everything else needs to show. And always write down the date so I remember what it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
They're just so still.
We just sit around and say, today is not coming to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have to, it has to go out over the.
Oh, yeah, they have to. Hey, Dale. Right, you should have to take some people.
I think so, to drivers.
Yeah.
It's that two together, is that what I'm saying is doing somebody right? Shay needs somebody to write.
I'll supply the bourbon.
He's driving, I'm driving.
Gotta be drunk.
Sunrise.
I'm getting close to that. They're long. I think we're sponsored.
Yeah.
They just had you go there.
Right next to
You know.
Well, I can put three.
Technically, it's
That's nine.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, I
Take many minutes. Yeah, we got really more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, it says, you can get, yeah, smaller.
I don't think it's flash, yeah.
That was back when I was.
I can use that. I can. That's it. One piece of it, like, it's been done. Look at six in the backpack there. I'm pretty big.
So now, couple of my.
That's what I am.
Attorney brothers say. During the.
They told they're just to bring it where, you know. They're gonna be so.
Right.
This.
Yeah, exactly. I did.
Thank you. Yeah. And you can just run that each month. No. Shake it, go to that. They all, it's both parts. And don't be there, they're getting some of it. And say, if you're going to go over the that's not that once a day. How long away you can land? It's not, it's a harmonica. It's supposed to. It's no big deal. But if you're going to bring a tuba, let us know. How are you?
That's, did you see that beautiful flag on your front?
We did last night. Donna's walking around the block with the dog and saying, "What's the Dave Tanner?" And she said, "Oh, those people have a flag. We don't have a flag." I said, "Yeah, it was there last night. We got it home." She said, "It was." No, she didn't say it last night.
That's I just heard something. I just have.
When?
Today.
Yeah, I heard them, I just about money.
In the cherry.
Just, my grandson will be here in 2 days. He's got his parents, but
Oh, cool. Layers and tough.
ready for their plane.
Yeah.
With the 9-month-old.
My oldest grandson. Wow. And he is small and forward. That's so serious. Well, but it's okay. We thought was better than working for the federal government. This thing. I still can't figure out what the now shows in that here. And they really just me. It's great. All that's great. Yeah. Show the great man. It's been slow to comments. Couple generations that then use their James. It was about a small. Oh, yeah. Yes. It better go in the fight. It's all this shit. I don't know if it's space. It's great. She turned off at the when he was at a shot under the fall, I mean, he tried it. And sometimes did that. Or very old people after high school and Lawrence College and AMC dropped. Funny me, I'm just gonna be just so quick. Oh, just like no, he went back to work and Look and shrink them. It always tell us first. Was. That. And we were trying to go to school during the day, drive the Kansas City night, and he found himself. Not. We also think. Thank you. 1 year or so. Small things in those accidents.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was sure.
That. Yeah. It's still like. That's kind of similar to my brother. My brother was like a student, just flounder for a really long time and then started nursing. And then became an A student, got his master's in nursing, also charge nurse and make yard. And it's just like, what's the finding thing that all of a sudden, that stuff makes sense. Otherwise, if you don't have that thing with the purpose and that drive, that's the stuff, it's that stuff, right? You only got, you know. This is the computer for random. I mean, the sign joint photos. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I think it's got so it's both for. I'm 40. So it is with the cooperating. I take the. I think it's very shut, you know. But what I'm sweet. Is one thing I did. Virus. Right. Jump on the house already. Wow. That's good. Not. That's there's somewhere we don't see that. This is one I can vote. Okay, I get it. I got help. I think that was right. You guys in. Land about it in the bridges. Really? There's why is that? And I looked at firefighting, but not personnel. And that's it. I made it out. And that I settled down. And I suggested. If you get that, flash. And that was the job.
My son's best friend. Those. Turned it on, I think it was straight out of the. He got hurt.
Everybody else.
I mean, it's dangerous.
Fast to change your mind, the other thing I heard. Yeah, motion up there, no water, you can't run it. Oh, yes, what it is.
But they have the initial. Like boats. That's what they do.
They had they're going fast.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Boats on that.
But it's normal fire department. Not just fire, police, and they have to.
Yeah, I've done agency.
Yes. Anything else from the morning or sometimes? Are they joining us or?
Yeah, they are.
We ready to get started?
Why so few people today?
Yes, we're ready.
Well, I didn't open the email, so that.
So that's why you're here.
We here. No, I don't still. Lauran, absolutely, I'll be there.
I can't get it. That's
I'm sure the dog. Yeah.
gonna be fun.
Yeah. So I.
Smiley.
She said, okay, okay, we need to go there. Oh, they're changing.
But.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the sound of the space. Don't be.
Nice, got it.
They have. If you would stand, we will get together for the May 22nd meeting of the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club. Giving our invocation this morning is going to be the Reverend Shane Webb.
Let's pray, y'all. We need some prayer. We'll pray for this sound system as well. Loving God, we come before you this day, asking for your grace and mercy. We ask your protection from any storms that may be rolling in. We ask your blessing upon our equipment today, that it may work and we may have an efficient and effective meeting. God, may we feel your energy and strength as we go from this place to serve this community. And we ask these things in your holy name. Bless our bodies, our souls, and our minds as we are nourished on the food and the fellowship. In Christ Jesus we pray. Amen.
Bobby Haas, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everybody face the flag, put their hand over their heart.
No,
That looks like a new flag. All right.
Yeah.
And Bobby has a couple of recognitions that we need to. Come on up. I'll let you do your thing. You may be seated, by the way.
Hold it up. Ow. You walk through the microphone.
Okay.
Well, there are no visitors. Welcome,
Tuesday.
General Zapata.
Harry Chris is going to be recognized for how many years?
17
17 years.
And now Manning is going to be recognized for 1 year. Yeah. Residency, get a little bump on that. Okay? Okay, Donna, do we have any guests? No guests today. With that, our program today is Canine Companions and La Presidenta Anterior. Our next president of the Rotary Club, Lauran Manning, is here to talk to us about the Canine Companions. And someone get a Ryan, get a camera out.
Okay.
But before we get started, Lauran, we made a commitment to the Canine Companions that for a $2,000 donation.
Thank you.
There it is.
Appreciate it.
You can check.
Have a look right here.
Wait, you gotta get out.
Oh, yes. How about me?
There she goes. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's okay, Johnny.
Okay.
It's too big. I need to pull it over here so I can advance it.
Yes.
We'll be there eventually. No, I don't. Well, you know what? I can just talk a little bit first while he gets that going.
Yeah.
Most of y'all know about Canine Companions. You know that I'm gonna give you a broad overview just in case there's anybody here that's not familiar with it. But we are a national nonprofit that trains dogs to become service dogs for people with disabilities and veterans with PTSD. This is Alex. Come here, buddy. Thank you. This is Alex. He's in training. He will be 2 next month, and he should be graduating this summer and matched with someone with a disability. So I put some little cards on the table that basically is talking about advocating for Canine Companions. It talks about the number of dogs, fake service dogs that are out there. So this is a big platform we have. There's a lot of people that order a vest online and say that their dog's a service dog, and they're not. Service dogs are dogs that have been trained for specific tasks. It takes about 2 years for a dog to become a service dog. So Alex is almost there. He's not quite there yet. He is still considered a service dog in training, but he's doing great. Watch this. Alex, get. Alex, give Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. So anyway, our approach at Canine Companions, at this point, all of our dogs are born in California. We purposely breed dogs specifically to be service dogs. By doing that, we've been able to rule out, we use labs, Goldens, or crosses of the two. Both of those breeds are known to have hip dysplasia and a couple of things. So with the purposeful breeding, we're able to breed out some of those problems so that we're putting out the best service dogs we possibly can. Come here, bud. The dogs are born in California. When they're 8 weeks old, they are shipped to the regional training centers. At that point, a volunteer puppy raiser gets those dogs, teaches them basic obedience commands, and just makes a well-rounded dog, socializing the dog. When do you need to do something?
If you could log back in.
Okay,
That'll be wonderful.
1 sec.
Sorry. Technology.
Please wait. Experience and other illnesses. Oh. That's fun.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the oceans, white with hope. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, good job. We just won't have a slideshow, that's fine. About them.
Let me see.
Okay, so the volunteer puppy raisers raise the dog for 18 months. When the dog is about 18 months old, they're turned into the regional training center. We have 6 regional training centers across the country, one of them being here in Las Colinas. They work for about 6 to 9 months with professional trainers at the training center. The whole time the dog's being trained, those 2 years, the applicants are going through a pretty rigorous process themselves. So it takes about 1.5 years for them to reach the point where they're ready to get a dog. They're doing phone interviews, in-person interviews. They come to campus, work with dogs, so we can see how they are with the dogs. Finally, they're at the top of the list and they come to team training. As a matter of fact, this money that y'all have donated is helping us redo our dorm rooms. So we have 6 cabins on campus and, oh yay.
Hey.
And
Which slide?
we'll do this one first.
This is no ordinary puppy. He's a Canine Companions for Independence assistance dog in the making. Born, raised, and trained to rise to any challenge. Partnered to give independence to a child, adult, or veteran with a disability, entirely free of charge. Learn how you can give independence. Give a dog a job at cci.org.
That's an old video with our old logo, but I love it, so I'm showing how Lady Bang. Okay, we already talked about who we are, what a service dog is, takes 2 years. Starts with the puppy. So we've gotten to where they come to campus for 2 weeks, live in our dorms for those 2 weeks. And that's what we're using this money that Rotary has given us to upgrade our dorms. They're 10 years old now, so they need some touches to them. So we appreciate that gift. Thank you for that. And then they're matched. We have a graduation ceremony and they go on their way. But we don't just say, congratulations, you have a dog. We stay in contact with those people 6 months after they graduate, a year after that, every 3 years, they're getting recertified. We're making sure everything's going well. If say a person gets a dog and they're ambulatory when they get the dog, and then their problem goes to where they're in a wheelchair, then they could come back to campus and the dog relearns how to work with a wheelchair. So we're working with those clients for the entire working life of the dog. What I wanted to talk to y'all about today is our prison racing program. So like I said, I know a lot of y'all know about Canine Companions, but you may not know about the prison racing program. We have, it started back in the 70s. They started working with inmates in prisons, trying to give them job skills, giving them a purpose while they were in prison. And that's how the whole prison racing program started. We saw that as an opportunity for them to become our puppy racers. So where we have the volunteer puppy racers that do it the first 18 months of the dog's life, we have inmates that are doing it for that 18 months. If you think about it, they don't have a whole lot to do all day anyway, so they might as well be training the dog and learning the skills, so they're learning the job skills. And the way the training works, we provide a trainer. We have someone that goes to the prison and does puppy class with them. So they learn what they need to know to work with these kids, work with the dogs. Same as our volunteer puppy raisers, they come to puppy classes. So the prison has a puppy class. The handlers are given time every day. The dogs actually live in the room with the inmates. Every dog has about 3 handlers, they have primary and secondaries. And so that if one of them is released during that time, then they're able to, the secondary would take over. We have very strict rules and, you know, we're very particular about who is raising the dog. We provide, like I said, we have staff that goes there. We give them all the materials they need. We give them the training. We take the dog and we drop the dog off there and keep up with them at that point. I already said what the prison provided. So the inmates are we're very particular. We're not just going to give them to anybody. So it's the best of the ones there. They really work hard to become one of our handlers, and it's a big honor for them to be one within the prison. So they cannot have a history of animal or child abuse, and they have to be in good standing. The way it's funded, it's the same way as our entire programs, through donations. So we give these dogs completely free of charge. We are able to do that thanks to donations from individuals, corporations, and foundations. The prison program is funded the same way. Some people will say, I love the prison program. I want to support the prison program. So that money will go specifically to the prison program. It's honestly, it says on there, it's a win-win for everybody. It raises the best dogs. The percentage of dogs that pass that were raised in prison is way higher than the number of dogs that are not raised in prison. And it gives the inmates a self-worth. I'll show you at the end of this. I'm going to read a letter to you that one of the inmates wrote. That's very moving. So in the South Central region, you may know that the training center that's built here was built in 2015, and it was to serve the entire state of Texas. But in 2022, we took on Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Arkansas as part of the South Central region. So in those 4 states, we have 7 prison programs. There are 45 puppies right now active in the prison program, 14 dogs that have come out of prison, including Alex here. He was in prison in Carswell. So 14 dogs broke loose and are now in professional training, and 17 are in finishing homes. So what a finishing home is obviously the inmates can't socialize the dog. They can do all the training. They can teach them all the commands they need to know. Hey, you see puppies? But they cannot take a dog to a restaurant. They can't. There's certain sounds. I was a finisher, weekend racer with a prison pup, and my dog had never heard a hairdryer or seen a vacuum cleaner. So things that you don't think about, those dogs are not being exposed to in prison. So we have volunteers that open up their homes for the dogs after they come out of prison. They go into a regular home for about 2 months before they're turned into professional training. Those people are socializing the dog. They're taking them to the stores, to the restaurants, everywhere that the dogs need to go. Our current success rate of dogs that spend more than 90 days in a federal prison system is 78%. Most service dog organizations, the success rate of a dog, ours is 55%, which is one of the highest in the industry. So 78% is huge. Like I said, there's about 3 or 4 inmates. The most important part is the recidivism rate. So less than 1% of these inmates have reoffended and had to go back to prison. It has given them this purpose, and it's just amazing. So we're hoping to open up 2 new prisons this year, to bring our number up to, what was it now? So 11. This is the letter. Let's see, I have it over here. So when I talk to these inmates, most of them have the same story. Most of them have had a terrible life. It's, the cycle. They were abused. Their parents did drugs. They got hooked on drugs. They made bad decisions. But I talked to this one lady who, she said, my story is totally different than theirs. There were like 4 in a row that had that same story. This lady said, I was raised in a very loving home. I went to the best schools. I became a nurse. She said, I went, I furthered my career. I became a nurse. My whole purpose was helping others. I got in an accident, hurt my back, and got on painkillers and got addicted. She couldn't get out of the cycle of the painkillers. So she just started spiraling and ended up addicted to drugs, living on the streets, making poor decisions, and ended up in prison. So she said, my story's not like theirs at all, but I want to give back. She said, I'm clean now. She's been clean for 5 years now. So she said, I'm clean, and this dog has given me purpose. She said, when I lost control, I lost everything. I lost my husband, I lost my children, I had nothing. And ever since I started raising these dogs, I have a purpose now. Her husband, she wasn't allowed to see her children. They cut her off completely, which is understandable. But she raised a dog. His name is Grayson. He is in Fort Worth at a children's hospital. If you're on Facebook, Grayson, the facility dog, is his handle. So the husband saw that, she was writing letters, and she said, I raised this dog, look him up. And so the husband started following Grayson on social media and realized that the impact that this lady had made by raising that dog, and the impact that that dog was making on other people. So now she has a relationship with her children. They come to visit her, and so she's getting her life back together, and she's excited. She's getting out the next year or so. So she's excited about, she wants to get back into nursing if she can get recertified, but she says she's going to be training dogs also. So it's pretty cool. But this one, y'all may have already read it, but first off, I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me one of the best days of my entire life. Okay, so we have the inmates come once a year. The inmates from Carswell come to our campus once a year and get to meet the trainers and the staff, and spend a day, see a day in the life of a trainer. Coming to the facility and getting to see the day in the life of a trainer helps me understand the beauty and importance of what we worked so hard to achieve with these amazing puppies. The prison puppy program has changed my life. In my darkest hour, it brought a guiding light. I grew up in a dysfunctional home with an addict mother. I never really learned what true love was and struggled to find it my whole life. I've done so many things that I'm ashamed of and never thought I would break the cycle of addiction in my family. When I became a primary puppy raiser, everything changed. My first day, Zora showed me something I've never seen or felt before: unconditional love. I put my heart into her training and it paid off. I finally have done something in my life to be proud of. I'm now working with my second puppy, Garth. I'm so honored to be a part of something so special. Thank you for helping me find healing in this broken place and giving me a life to be proud of. God bless you all. So, so the prison program is just a win-win. We get great dogs out of it. They're getting a purpose. They're getting a job skill. It's really working out great. So I just wanted to share that component with y'all. I thought some of y'all might not know about it. Any questions? Yes.
For those in the program, when they get released, are they able to work with you guys full time or anything?
There's a 2-year period that we wait to make sure that they are gonna do the right thing on the outside, yeah. But yes, we have actually, as an organization, I think we've hired 2 people that were inmates. And we have a couple of puppy raisers, even here in South Central, we have a couple of the inmates that are our puppy raisers. So yes,
I noticed that all the dogs show are labs. You're working.
so we use labs, goldens, or crosses of the 2. We found, over the years, so we're 50 years this year. We use lots of different dogs over the year, and we found those 2 breeds had what we wanted for what we need the dogs to do. Their temperament, their disposition, the strength to be able to pull a wheelchair. They were bred to be hunting dogs, so they have a soft bite. I tell people German Shepherds are great service dogs for police force. But if I drop my cell phone and ask the German Shepherd to pick it up, it's gonna jump right through it. These dogs pick everything up gently and hand it to us. So we have found that those 2 breeds are and they're easily trained, they're pretty food motivated, that helps too. Yes,
What's the useful life of a trained dog?
how long is the life of a trained dog? About 10 years. So once the dog gets to be about 8 or 9, we start talking to the client about retiring the dog. It's totally up to the person who owns the dog, to the client, when their dog retires. But they see it start slowing down and it's their decision and they say, okay, it's time. You know, he's not picking things up as he used to, or he's not able to pull me in my wheelchair. And so they retire. At that point, they can either keep the dog or a lot of times they give it to a family member because they get a successor dog and it's confusing if and both dogs are trying to pick it up. So they'll give it to a family member a lot of times and sometimes go full circle and they give it back to the puppy raiser that raised it the first 18 months. Any other questions?
How many placements do you have each year?
At South Central or nationally?
Oh, both.
At South Central, we, last year was our biggest year. We placed 58 dogs last year. So it's usually around 50, 52 dogs a year. We would love to do more. We just don't have kennel space for the dogs. If any of you ever want to come see the training center, I'd be more than happy to give you a tour. If you haven't seen it, we have 24 kennels. We don't like to put more than 2 dogs in a kennel at a time. So they all have a roommate, which they like, but we don't want to put 3 in there. So we're really limited on our kennel space. Otherwise, we would put out a lot more dogs. Nationally, we've placed over 8,100 dogs have been placed nationally since our beginning. Yes. Yes, they are. All of them are. Some dogs come into when they're turned into professional training. Yeah, all the dogs are neutered as they enter professional training. Some of them are picked for breeders and they go back to California, and that's part of the breeding program. But all of ours are spayed and neutered.
All right.
Thank you.
It's been a while. We've had a couple hit or misses to get this program on the road, but we got it done and it's fascinating. And those of us who have been around for a while, remember when Bill was the one who kept us on top of canine companions. Now, in announcements, we'll have a monthly meeting next Thursday here. Then we skip a week. And then on June 19th is when my last day, and we'll recognize people that have helped me. And on June 26th, Laura becomes the official president of the cheerleading here will be me bouncing down the deal. So any other announcements to come before us at this time? All right, Brian Maney, would you lead us in the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do?
Absolutely. All right, everybody repeat after me as we go through the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And with that, we are adjourned.
Can't vote.